Nowadays, eating a KFC's meal with a basket full of fried chicken seems quite effortless. But have you ever wondered how KFC was built and how did it manage to overcome all its circumstances? And how, currently even in today's generation, KFC is listed amongst the top 5 fast food restaurants in comparison with other fast food chains? This video would inspire many of you guys watching this, as Colonel Harland Sanders, the founder of KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, had literally failed multiple times, as well as rejected from various companies until he founded out KFC and his secret fried chicken recipe. However, during his 60s, Colonel reached a stage where his success blew up many people's minds. Despite having so many problems, how did this man manage to build up such a huge corporation that made him billions? What was his secret tactic that made KFC the world's largest restaurant chain? To know about it more and how KFC started as a startup to currently making billions per day, continue watching the whole video till the end. During the age of 65, Colonel retired from the job he was grinding for since his 20s. On the first day of his retirement, he received a check from the government for $105. That was just as painful as someone slapping you tight on the face. Colonel Sanders felt quite discouraged looking at the $105 check, that how could he survive on a $105 monthly budget at such an old age? Just like his miserable childhood, he thought even his old age would be sorrowful. He felt like a total failure, which led to him committing suicide. The Colonel sat under a tree writing his suicide letter. All of a sudden, Colonel thought of writing instead what he would have accomplished if he chose to live and start his life all over. That's where his life made its turning point. He chose to live again. This time, he made himself realize that he could do things like no one else could. Rather, he could do it better than anyone else. And that was cooking. Cooking the best chicken that no one could ever have tasted. Colonel borrowed $87 from which he bought a fryer as well as his recipe ingredients. He cooked his unique fried chicken recipe and tried selling door to door, as well tried to license restaurants. He was rejected about 1,009 times from the restaurants when he was trying to license his recipe. The 1,010th restaurant was a dream come true for himself, which finally gave him a yes moment. This was the time when KFC was born. In the early 1950s, Colonel Sanders had to forcefully close his own restaurant and motel. That's why he began selling franchises of his own recipes. His first franchise, Peter Harmon, owned a hamburger restaurant in Salt Lake City, Utah. This was the very first place where KFC got started. Over the following years, Sanders persuaded several other restaurant owners to add his Kentucky Fried Chicken made up of 11 herbs and spices to their menus. This recipe was never revealed to the public, nor will ever. As Colonel was retired, he used his security income and savings to take his recipe on the road. By the year 1963, Colonel Sanders was franchised to more than 600 outlets in the United States and Canada. Sanders had 17 employees and traveled more than 321,869 kilometers, 200,000 miles, in 1 year promoting Kentucky Fried Chicken. However, the business was growing so large that it was too difficult for Sanders to handle it. Except, he was even clearing his $300,000 before taxes. He sold much of his business to a group of investors in 1964 and moved to Canada, where he lived until his death in 1980. Since then, KFC has conquered the world as the largest fast food chicken operator, developer, and franchisor in the world, calling it its finger-licking good. Today, KFC is owned by Yum Brands. The greatest factor of KFC's success is its time factor. The time factor plays a vital role in KFC's success. Usually, when people go to restaurants, they expect to get their food as early as possible. Sanders used the pressure cooker to make food ready to eat faster. Not only that, it also makes the food hygienic as well as tastier. The recipe of the fried chicken was made by Colonel Sanders himself. Thus, it's the copyright of the KFC franchise, as no other type of chicken can match the taste that KFC's fried chicken has. Another reason that has led KFC into success is the franchise system followed by KFC's restaurants all over the world. There are several rules and regulations for every restaurant which are supposed to be followed at any cost. It's quite an inspiration for us even at the age of 62. Sanders started such a great food store which no one can beat even now. Also, whenever the name chicken comes, the word KFC hits our minds. On that note, always remember it's never too late to start something new, to do all those things that you've been longing to do.